Hi, Pastor Nathan Decker with Your Better Together devotion for today, and I'm looking over an agenda for a meeting that I have this evening. And meetings should have agendas. Anytime people get together, they should have an agenda. That there should be a reason, a purpose, a goal. That there should be a vision towards accomplishing a mission. There should be an agenda. Now, what's that got to do with our topic for the week, which is how to grow our church through Jesus Christ? How does an agenda play into that? Well, the reality is that a lot of times we as churches, when we go about doing that fancy E word, evangelism, which is a way of talking about growing and reaching out and witnessing, a lot of times we think the agenda is we have to go out and beat people over the heads and pass out tracts and make sure to quote some Bible verses, and the agenda has to be to change their lives and to get them to sign on the dotted line and close the sale and make sure that they become members. Well, no, that's not the agenda. If we're going to be real and if we're going to be community focused, then our agenda is an agenda of love. That's right, love. Our agenda as a church, when it comes to our relationship with the community, our relationship with the unchurched, the de-churched, the non-churched, our relationship with the churched people, even for crying out loud, our relationship needs to be driven by an agenda of love. So what does that mean? Well, it means that we don't start with judgment. We don't start with a place of thinking that we have it all together and they don't. Or we don't start from a place that says we have something that you're lacking. We don't turn it into an us versus them. Instead, with an agenda of love, we seek to find places where God is already at work in their lives. We seek to find places where Jesus Christ is already shining in their life, complimenting them on the ways that we can already see that the Spirit is at work. And probably not use that kind of churchy, religious, spiritual language at first, but instead talk about how you see kindness, how you see their care for the community, how you see that their involvement is making a difference and making things better. You see, if the agenda is love, it puts the onus on us rather than the other person to be a change. Our hearts have to change so that we see Christ in someone who normally everyone else would think is not making it. I remember seeing a comic online of three people sitting on a pew, and two of them are finely dressed and look really posh and wonderful, and they're whispering to themselves in their minds, he thinks he's a Christian. Because the one sitting in the middle is this big, burly biker dude with tattoos everywhere and the leather jacket and all that stuff. And he's reading the Bible, and his heart and his whispers are saying, God, thank you for forgiveness. Help me. Help me love. The agenda, when we go into the world to grow the church and to grow disciples, to find people that we want to connect with, that God leads us to connect with as guests, to invite them into a relationship with Jesus Christ. The agenda is not conquest. The agenda is not numbers, butts in the pews, or dollars in the offering plate. The agenda, the one and only agenda, is the love that God has for humanity. And that's the love that's supposed to go through us to the world. That's the vision to accomplish the mission of making disciples. Love. For God so loved the world that he gave, and so should we. We should give love. Then, and only then, will we be better together. Thanks be to God. Amen.